In this video, you get to join me on a live streaming coaching call with one of the students of Worship Ministry School. On this Zoom call, you're gonna hear me and see me guiding Pastor Jason and his tech team as they build a customized live streaming solution for their church. In their live streaming setup, Jason is leveraging the ATEM Mini Pro as their live action camera video switching device. Then they have ProPresenter producing their lyrics and visuals, both for their congregation live in the room as well as for their live stream. And then to bring everything together and to send the stream online to various platforms, they are using Ecamm Live. And what I thought was unique about their setup is how they're combining the ATEM Mini Pro with Ecamm Live. Because the ATEM Mini Pro can stream directly to a social platform, and it can also record. There's lots of great features in this little device. The primary downside about this device, though, is that you only have 4 HDMI inputs. But one creative way to leverage the video switching power of the ATEM Mini Pro and combine it with the power of great software like Ecamm Live is to set it up the way that you see in this video. I think it's a really creative solution to combine the ATEM Mini Pro with Ecamm Live, because those two pieces of software could function without each other. The ATEM Mini Pro could send your stream directly to the social platforms without Ecamm, or Ecamm could do video switching, especially if you're just using a few cameras, and then go ahead and send that stream to the online platform. So why would you want to use both? Well, I think the benefit of using both the ATEM and Ecamm Live is that you can combine the best of both worlds. The ATEM will be able to carry the brunt of the video switching processing that has to happen. And then in Ecamm Live, you can pull in NDI feeds from ProPresenter. So you can have a lower thirds lyric screen, you could have an announcement screen, you could have a full presentation screen, as you're gonna see me set up in this video. So instead of being limited to just the 4 video inputs on the ATEM Mini Pro, they can save those inputs for live action cameras. Of course, you can't have more than 4 of them. And then using Ecamm Live with the NDI input feature, you can pull in multiple other inputs from sources like ProPresenter. And what's really great about the ATEM Mini Pro is not only does it function as a video switching device, but it's also a video capture device. So when you plug it into your computer, it's gonna show up like a webcam inside of Ecamm Live. So enough of me talking about this setup. Hopefully it gives you context with the type of system they are building. And in this video, you're gonna see me unpack quite a few things. I'm gonna troubleshoot some display issues they were having. They had the video output monitor in Ecamm switched on, and that was sending the video output from Ecamm, their program feed, to their main displays in their sanctuary, which was kind of confusing, but we figured that out. We're gonna talk about formatting lyrics for lower thirds in ProPresenter, and then sending the NDI signal from ProPresenter, your different screens you configure into Ecamm Live. I'm gonna talk about creating an announcement loop so that they can always have this announcement loop to go back to in their live stream as kind of a save shot, or when they just wanna show announcements before the service. And then once we've got all of our screens configured, I show them how they can go ahead and set up some scenes in Ecamm Live so that it's really easy with just a few key commands to switch between the different looks. If you would like my help setting up the right live streaming system for your worship ministry, then check out worshipministryschool.com, linked below this video. You can apply to join our full online course and coaching experience, or if you just want to get started with our live streaming course, you can check out the link for that below as well. So without further ado, here's my coaching call with Jason.
Or if you turn the ATEM off, does it goes back to ProPresenter on those screens?
You want to try it? We can try it.
Yeah, like just disconnect the ATEM.
Yep. Nope. No, it didn't.
It's still on?
Yeah.
Well, did I do it somehow in Ecamm? Did I?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what it is? You're right. Output, Ecamm, video monitor, off. There we go. That was it right there, I think. So now, okay, so why output? Is it still on?
No. Now the ProPresenter is up there.
Oh, perfect. That was it. So what was happening is Ecamm Live was basically like sending that camera angle like itself to your ProPresenter screens with this little video monitor.
That was because The
Keep this
You need to
keep
have-
this off. Yeah. Yeah, because it was saying Ecamm Live will kind of detect like what screens you have, and this is the HD extender. This is your device you have going to your presentation screens. So make sure that's off.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
Yep.
sense.
Cool. All right. So now that's fixed, right? So now that shouldn't be an issue. Now if we went back to go ahead and plug the ATEM back in so we can have the control software functioning here.
Good.
Perfect. So now if I go through and start clicking around camera angles, right? Okay. So now the ATEM is my camera, my video switcher. And then with getting Pro Presenter, let's see what you guys get configured here. Or actually, I'll go back to Ecamm Live. So then I see you already configured some lower NDI screens right here, Jason. Is that what I'm seeing?
So she did that.
So let me go to a song or something right here.
We were having trouble with like our songs have, like 4 lines in them. And so then, even though it was supposed to go through lower third, it would only pick up the lines, so.
Have you seen if there's a character limit per line, by the way?
In Pro Presenter?
Yeah.
I don't think there, I mean, you can configure it however you need. So like I think you probably could make these lyrics a little bit smaller. Okay. So right now, if I went back to Ecamm and I'm looking at the lower thirds. Okay. So now we've got our lower thirds lyrics overlaid on that. And then we've got, if I go back to the ATEM switcher, now we can switch camera angles and keep the lower thirds there. Okay. And then, so your question about the lower thirds lyrics, so you want to like reformat that or?
Oh, we were just wondering. So we had noticed, and then I think one of your videos or something that said that it's kind of a 2-line max, but then we also found out that some lines can be too long.
Yeah.
And it'll get cut off as well. So there's like,
yeah,
I don't know if it's like a 40 character limit or something, but
no, I mean, I think you can have as many characters as you want, but it's like, it really just depends on your font size and like how much of the screen it's taking up. So I would consider when you're going in and looking at your different looks and stuff. So here under screens, edit looks, I got to look at for your lower thirds here, the template you're using. Come on. Oops.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Trying to, I click it and it like, okay, there we go. So you're using song, WOL, lower thirds lyrics. So that's the theme you're using. So if I went back through themes, song WOL, lower thirds lyrics. Oops, sorry about that. I wanted to edit the theme. Let me undo that. Theme. Why am I not? Theme editor, is that different? Yeah, that's what it is. Sorry.
That's where that is. Man, I was looking all over the place.
Yeah.
67 was
a lot.
enormous.
Yeah. Dude, we gotta talk about getting you guys because you just have the basic live streaming course, right, Jason?
Yeah.
Okay. We've got a Pro Presenter 7 course and all the fun stuff inside the course library. So we can talk later about getting you hooked up with that stuff. But okay, so then if I go so then we got to select our category, WOL, this one. And then if I go down here, now I can edit this formatting. So I can go and like adjust like the size. So let's see, let's bring it down to like
Because think about it, people are watching these on their phones, hopefully in landscape view. I don't know, something like that. You can maybe make it bolder. So I don't know if you guys, this is a pretty decent font. You can make it, instead of medium, maybe there's like a bold setting or heavy setting that might look a little bit better. It'll show up a little bit clearer. So you can have a smaller font, shows up more. Now you can fit more lyrics there, right?
Okay. So
that's how you get into that theme editor there. So now when we go back to show view mode here, we'll click on another. So now it adjusted that automatically on that screen. So now when we go to Ecamm here, I think, I think that's good enough. It's hard for me to tell from doing this remotely, but you'll kind of have to judge.
Definitely looks better.
Cool. Yeah. So there you go. So that'll fix kind of the lyric issue. So yeah, I think this would work fine for you guys. I like the thing about Ecamm is that it does give you some great flexibility with. It makes your routing your ProPresenter lyrics and presentation a lot simpler, because then you're freeing up your video switcher inputs for another camera instead of having to send a ProPresenter feed into your video switcher, right? So I think this setup should work pretty well. The other thing I wanted to check on was if you guys have a full ProPresenter screen view for your pastors, when they're doing sermon stuff. So let's say when the Lord's Prayer is up.
Yeah, so that's my sermon series right now. We're doing the Lord's Prayer.
Okay. So so technically, would this be a slide that you want to have the main output for the live stream? Okay. So that's when basically in Ecamm, we just need to make sure sorry, Siri is talking back to me for no reason right now. Okay. In Ecamm, we need to create another NDI screen that has this. So do we have, these NDI screens I'm looking at right here. This is the lower thirds. What's this one right here? Oh, that's like a
presentation. I think it's 2 lower thirds.
Okay, let me go back to your, I'm going to go back to ProPresenter. We'll kind of figure out this screen situation, what's going on. So we go to configure screens.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to, okay, this guy. So you only have output, presentation. Okay.
Did we set it up right?
Maybe let me go look at the look of it. Because it's black, it was black in.
Yeah, and I can't figure out why.
So there's nothing. Why does it say, well, here, if we did this.
Yeah.
Because there's no layers on that screen right now. I think this is that screen. I don't like how ProPresenter names things right here compared to what the screens are. So now if I go to Ecamm though, there we go.
Okay.
So basically that's what happened is on the looks, this one that says live right here. This is your, if I hit see, it kind of shows us the layers going on with it. But if I go back to screens, if I go to configure screens, that's what it is, a live stream presentation screen. So this is where you made the NDI screen. See how it says live is the first word right here? And then we go to looks. It says live right here. That means live stream. It just cuts out, it only uses the first word, which is kind of dumb. I'm gonna tell those guys to code that differently. This name, these names up here under looks, this needs to match what it says over here on screens.
Okay, that would help because I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's confusing, right? So we don't need props and messages on that. We probably don't need announcements. slides. We'll keep this on here. So what's kind of cool, as we're here and kind of doing stuff, and you don't have to use this, but let's say we wanted to do like you wanted to use the Pro Presenter's announcement loop feature or something like that, and maybe you had that like,
Which we would like to do that.
We would like to do
yeah.
that.
So if we go to audience here, let's make a new NDI screen. We'll just do the same settings as the other screen. And then we'll just call this announcement loop. And then we'll go and rename it down here on the NDI network. Announcements. Okay. So now that announcement screen is created, we got to go into the looks settings for that screen. And then we're going to go to announcements, and then we'll just uncheck everything except for the announcements box right here. So that'll be like, hey, on this screen, you're only going to put the announcements layer, which is this little green dot that you can put on a presentation. So now let's go and this is opportunities. Is this your announcements thing? Okay. So let's say here, this is kind of you just want never-ending scrolling announcements and the option to switch to that. So for this document, we'll click this little next arrow. Let's just change this to 5 seconds here. So this will basically make it so now when I click on this document, see this little auto advance is going to start right here, and that's going to take 5 seconds and it's going to go to the next slide automatically. So I'm not touching any of that. So this is kind of the cool slideshow thing. If you put a video in here, it'll go to the video, but it'll play the video all the way through, and then it'll go to the next slide for 5 seconds. So it's a pretty dope feature. You can even change that to probably more than 5 seconds. Is a little overkill. But now what we could do is you click this little button on this particular document. You click that and you go to announcements. So now this is going to be only showing on your announcements layer. So if I can go back. This is our main presentation output right here that your congregation is going to see. Let's go down here and find something like, say you guys start worship, and let me click here, the background and this. So now worship starts, and what's happening though is you still have that announcement loop running in the background. At least you should. Why is it not showing here? Oh, did I? Yeah, that's on announcements. Oh, let me check something real quick. Edit looks. Okay, so on your main screen, we don't want announcements. Right. So this is saying, so now what's happening is you can have your slides, your backgrounds, all your medias. You probably don't need any video input on there right now or here. Those are that's if you're like sending any video into Pro Presenter, but I don't think you guys need to do that for anything right now. But your main screen for your congregation is going to show your main presentation content. The announcement screen is going to show just the announcements content. So now I'll go back here. Your announcements are going on the announcement loop, but if I switch back to main output, let's see, we have to go down here. So you see the main worship content, right, for your congregation. So now we can go to Ecamm Live, and then you guys can have a separate video input here on for your announcements loop. So let's see if we might need to. Oh no, it's right here. So it automatically showed up, right? So if I click this angle, it's like not letting me. There we go. So now your announcements this loop, this announcement screen is just going in Ecamm Live.
Right.
So now you have your main video cameras. This is all going to be controlled and switched by ATEM. And then when you want your announcement loop, you just click on the announcement screen. When you want just lower thirds, you're going to click here. And then when you want full presentation for like the pastor preaching, you click here. But what I recommend you guys do is make sure you go through, and I kind of show you how to do this in the course, is to make the right scenes, right? So we're going to go in here and make all those things, make these scenes in here accordingly. So then your video switching person, when it comes to Ecamm, they can just do a couple quick key commands to kind of bounce between those things. They'll still have to have the ATEM control software open though to do camera angles. So keep that in mind. You probably want this open, and this is where it might get to a point where like
I think
you
could do it on the Mini.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, the actual that's way easier. So just have the Mini right in front of them, and then they're just hitting camera angles. They're gonna see those changes happen in here within Ecamm Live when they're like this. So yeah, so I think that's the thing. So I would have like in Ecamm, the way I would kind of set up your scenes, and you can totally not do this if you want, but I would go like or let's say like let's say you have an angle or a scene in Ecamm that's the ATEM no overlay or whatever, or like just the ATEM only or whatever. So say you just want just the video feed from your cameras, right? And then I would make another scene that's going to be let's see, lower thirds lyrics. So then I would go back to here, and so I'm editing this scene, and then I would click on here. That's going to enable our lower thirds lyrics, and then I would go ahead and lock that. So now I can bounce between control 2 is going to be no overlay. Control 3 is going to be lower thirds lyrics. And then I would even in Pro Presenter, when you edit the theme for those lyrics, I would consider moving those down a little bit lower. I think they're a little bit higher than they need to. And then let's go back to another one you can make would be
Like a full screen?
Yeah, like presentation.
Yeah.
What you call it, something like that. When your pastor's doing preaching slides or whatever. And you could, I mean, what's cool is you can make however many scenes you want here to really make this efficient. And then let's go ahead and do that. And then I think if we did, let's say you want to have, I think we can click both of these here. How do I get it? I'm always,
Hit
so
the
wait.
corner.
I don't want half and half. I want
That pick and pick, it's over to the left? Or no?
yeah. Oh, you're right. Okay, so you have to do,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to have pick and pick enabled here. Select the one you want on the main screen first, and then hit the little pick and pick, and then hit the live feed. So now you could have pastor preaching down here on the video with the presentation in the background like that. So then we'll just go ahead and lock that scene. And then you could create another scene. We'll just call this announcements. Let's see, you guys can fix my spelling errors later here. And then we'll go ahead and just do this.
Yep.
Oh, I locked it or something apparently. Let's see here. And then maybe even, you can make sure audio is muted or something. That's another thing to think about when you're building scenes is like, what do you want the audio to be doing for that particular scene as well. So yeah, that's kind of how I'd kind of keep building on that, saving these scenes, locking it. And now it's like you can easily toggle between, you've got, let's see, you've got your just video feed, add on some lower thirds. I'm pressing the wrong one here. But you kind of get the gist of it right here.
Yeah.
So does that all make sense? I mean, does that feel like it's going to help you guys, or is that going to work for you?
A lot. Sue, what are you thinking?
When I was watching your video earlier, it said that you could have like a logo only, or is that, no? But how do you add that logo only and make it fill the screen? Or you have, maybe our logo slide has to be different.
Oh, to have like, you mean to have just the, oh, like if you just want to have just this without this? Or
No. What were you talking about?
In your video, you talked about having a logo up like at the beginning of the service.
oh yeah, yeah. So if you want to have like your logo, so then we can go and we can go to this scene here. You'll have to edit it, but if you guys have like your image file, you can just go ahead and have kind of a safe shot, basically load in, like make sure it's 16:9, this shape, and then probably, I bet you probably have one bouncing around in ProPresenter somewhere, and you could just find that image file. Here's your little thing here. You're gonna go down, click image, and then find that file, and then save it to this scene, and you could bounce the logo if you need to as well. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, like you got some image here. So
This is definitely upgrading our ProPresenter game. Here would be my question for you. As far as, I guess, as far as the video component of this, what is something that like not enough churches are doing that we should be adding in?
well, so let me see your video angles. Let me go back to here and I'll see what's going on. So on your ATEM, we've got, let's go back, move this over here. Oh, this was actually, this is your FaceTime camera. So sorry, I meant this scene should have had this as your actual wow, window here. Okay. Whoa, it's like it keeps dragging around, but I did not click it. Stop. Okay, there we go. Now I'll go back to ATEM. So what do we got there? So we've got kind of a wide shot. We've got a,
Typically where I'm,
That's our pulpit cam.
that's kind of
okay,
like I'm preaching from a lot. Or at least
pulpit. And then is this like another tight shot or something?
Yeah,
which one?
Camera one.
yeah. So that's
Down there.
that's been our rig to show a full screen slide.
That's a great jerry-rigged way of doing that. I'm just capturing it. So hopefully now we've got a little bit easier setup. So, but yeah, I mean, so I think it's definitely great to make sure have a wide shot of the whole stage. I like having the congregation in here too. And then having a tight shot for your pastor. Maybe that could be, oh, you already have that on cam 3. And then
the jerry rig angle is also when not on site, but just online, that camera gets moved to have another angle of the band as well.
oh, okay. Yeah, because that's the thing is I would have this angle doesn't have to be on the screen anymore. So I would have it like somewhere on the side of the sanctuary, kind of giving a tighter side angle of the band that you can switch to. And then of course, maybe like when the band's leading, the pulpit, the other tight angle you have on the pulpit when he's preaching, that could be on worship leaders or something like that. So I mean, I don't know. I think you really got a pretty great setup going here. So it's like leverage ProPresenter as a good, like kind of safe fallback for either that announcement loop going on or, the other thing too, you could consider what's great about Ecamm, and this kind of gives you some great capability to just make sure things go smoothly, is you could create a separate announcement or a countdown video. Maybe that's like 10-minute long. It's an actual video file. It's not going to go on ProPresenter. Put it directly into Ecamm or load it as another scene where you're going to go and add a video file. And that could be like scene 1 or whatever. It could be, or maybe scene 2. Maybe scene 1 could be your logo. Scene 2 could be a video file that's a countdown, and then whoever's running this, if that's Sue or whoever else is running on Sunday, like they're pretty much just going down the scenes in order. I would kind of list it out like that. So leverage Ecamm's ability to play back pre-made videos even when you're doing an actual live stream, because that could help really kind of smooth out some transitions and stuff like that. So yeah.
Load more of our video into Ecamm versus loading it into ProPresenter.
Yeah, I think you just might see better performance because ProPresenter, you can't send audio over NDI from ProPresenter into Ecamm, from my understanding. So if you have a video that has background music, you can't do that. It has to be a video file, like when you're going in here and you're creating a scene within Ecamm. You'll just go ahead, create a new scene, and then do that same thing where you go in here, select your little media you want to bring in here. And then I guess you hit this little guy right here, and then you'll pick a movie file for that.
And so that when you start that scene, does it then start that video?
Yeah, it auto plays, and it actually gives you the option, like when it gets to the end of the video, it'll automatically proceed to the next scene. So there's some little options you can mess around with it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I feel like I would go ahead and try what you got now.
Yeah.
What's that?
With that, if you load it into Ecamm, when we go to both on-site and online, will that won't present though onto our in-house streams?
Correct. Nothing. We have it set up now where the only thing on your in-house screen is ProPresenter, like for your main content.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I'm with you. Okay.
That concludes our coaching call session for today. If you found it helpful, smash that thumbs up button. Share any ideas, thoughts, questions, insights below in the comments. I love learning from you guys. If you would like to have this same experience where I can log on to Zoom with you, do a screen share, and virtually be there with you at your church, then check out worshipministryschool.com. We've got comprehensive step-by-step online courses to help you get up and running with the right tech solutions for your worship ministry. And then when you need to sort of customize those solutions, or you feel stuck, or you have any questions, we are there to help you out with these coaching calls. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, smash that thumbs up button, share it with your friends in worship ministry, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our latest content to help you grow yourself and grow your church.